Hey, I'm Nate Savage, and welcome to this guitar lesson on the theory behind the major scale. Now, I know that music theory can be an intimidating subject for a lot of newer players, but don't worry, we're going to take things really slowly here and break things down into little bite-sized pieces for you so you can make sure to get everything that we go over. Now, if you need to go back and review some of the fundamental things about music theory or just learn them for the first time, just go to guitarlessons.com and make sure to go over some lessons on stuff like the natural musical alphabet, half steps and whole steps, and the B and C and E and F rule. The major scale is really the foundation for all the other chords and scales you're going to be learning as a guitar player, so it's really important to get down well. If you can understand the major scale, you're going to have a lot easier time building scales, building chords, understanding how keys work, figuring out songs, and writing your own songs too. The major scale is just a specific series or formula of whole steps and half steps. And that may sound confusing, but let me just tell you this. All the major scale is 2 whole steps and a half step, followed by 3 whole steps and a half step, or whole step, half step, whole step, half step. That's just something you're gonna have to remember, and to help you apply this and kind of retain this, let's just go through a couple of scales real quick using the major scale formula. Let's start here on a G note. That'll be our root note, or our 1. And what you're going to do is just apply that formula, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, to this G note to build a G major scale. So 2 wholes and a half, 3 wholes and a half. So let's start off here. Whole step to an A, another whole step to a B. Now we need a half step, right? And remember, the B, C, and E and F rule states that there's only a half step between B and C. So that wouldn't be a B sharp or C flat. That would be from a B to a C, just a half step, right? So that's your 4th note. Now we need 3 more whole steps. So from the C to a D, from a D to an E, another whole step. And remember, E and F only have a half step between them. So if I went up just a half step, I would be on an F, but I need a whole step. So we have to force our letters to conform to the scale formula. So we need a whole step, so we need an F sharp. And from this F sharp, the last little part of the formula for the major scale is a half step. So we can go from an F sharp to a G. And that's how you build a major scale. Now the important things to remember here are your natural musical alphabet, how sharps and flats work, and really the B, C, and E and F rule. If you don't have that down, if you haven't really comprehended that yet, that is really critical. That's going to really dictate where you put in your sharps and flats throughout a major scale. Let's do another key just to help solidify these concepts for you. Let's make a D major scale, and we can start with our open D string. Get a whole step to an E. We need another whole step now, but there's only a half step between E and F, so we have to force that to be an F sharp. Now we need a half step to a G, whole step to an A, whole step to a B. We need another whole step here, but there's only a half step between B and C, so we have to force that C up to a C sharp. And finally we can finish with a half step on the octave, that D note. That's it for this lesson on the theory behind the major scale. Now, if anything was unclear or confusing for you throughout this lesson, don't worry about that. Watch this video as many times as you need to in order for things to start sinking in. Another thing that's going to be important for you is to drill your keys on a regular basis. And what you can do to do that is just pick 1 key per day or 1 key per week and drill that major scale until you have it memorized. If you'd like to see more lessons like this, you can like the video, leave a comment below, or just visit guitarlessons.com for a lot more music theory lessons. See you there.